So recently I made a video on how my business has been failing. For the past year now, my business has seen very little growth. And as someone who works full-time alongside growing a small business, it's been increasingly harder to keep my energy levels up and to stay motivated while working almost every hour of every day and seeing very little reward in return. So after making that video, I decided to sit down with myself and ask myself, what isn't working? And I ended up coming up with a couple of ideas along with some suggestions from you guys on ways that I can save my small business in this next year. This next year, I really want to push my business in the hopes that I could go part-time or even full-time with my small business in the next few years. So let's get into what my plan is to save my business. If you guys didn't see the last video, you're probably gonna want to watch it before this. I will put it in the corner for you guys. I didn't expect as much attention from that video as what I got. It really surprised me. I did try my best to read every single comment I got. I didn't reply to a lot of them. The reason for that being is because I was very overwhelmed. I usually wake up to like 11 comments, which is about standard for me. I woke up after posting that video, the day after posting it, and I woke up to 50 comments, and over the course of the week it continued and continued and continued, and I think it has like right now close to 100, I think, last time I checked. Yeah, it's a lot of comments, and I don't think I've ever had that many comments. That was insane. First of all, I want to thank you guys. A lot of you were very lovely. A lot of you guys give me some advice. A lot of you guys related as well, which honestly helps me as well because it's just nice, I guess, to know that we're not alone. Basically, I'm going to take you guys through how I'm going to fix my business, what my plan is for this next year. I realized in my last video when I was talking about how I was feeling and how tired I am and how I feel like my business is just not doing very well, I didn't really talk about what my plans were, mostly because that video was just a real talk. My business, if you didn't watch the last video, which again I do recommend, but if you really don't want to watch it, basically for the past year or so my business hasn't been going anywhere. I haven't grown for a year. Now I feel like one thing that maybe got lost in translation in the last video was that I don't think my business is particularly going under. I don't think it's failing, it's just not growing. Basically, while my business isn't necessarily failing, it's also not succeeding. I feel like I'm in kind of like a little bit of a limbo with it right now, and I've been in that kind of mindset for like a year, and that's why I ended up making that video. However, I am still hopeful, and I feel like maybe I didn't talk about this enough in the last video to get my point across, but I don't necessarily feel like I can't fix it. I don't necessarily feel like it's hopeless. The reason I gave myself the year to fix my business was because it gives me a goal. I've got something to work towards. I've got a year to really push my business. I feel like for the longest time I've been in this limbo, but the reason I've been in this limbo is because I haven't really done anything to, like, I guess, push my business. I feel like I've been kind of floating along without a goal. And another thing I wish I'd said in that last video was that I don't think my business is failing just out of bad luck. It is me that's failing my business, and not in the sense of like I'm not putting in enough effort. It's down to the fact that I'm just not skilled enough. I've not grown a small business before. I don't really know what I'm doing, and that is okay. I'm allowed to not be perfect at everything. I decided to look back to when my business was doing well. I decided to kind of take it in my own hands and start writing down some ideas of what I thought was going well during those months where I was doing really good with my business. I'm currently trying to think of like where to go with my business. Looking back, I've had some ideas before, but I just feel like nothing's really sticking or working, and I think I'm just not like sure what to do. I remember when I was first getting into like YouTube and small business stuff, a lot of the times like when I'd watch videos and like trying to educate myself on like how to make videos better or how to make like products better, a lot of the advice would be like look at what's working and what isn't and try to like decipher why something's working and why the other thing isn't, like with your design or with your video. And I think honestly that's such good advice because you can apply it to like almost anything. And I think for the longest time, I haven't really looked back on when my business was doing good and thought like what was working during that time. What was I doing during that time? I was doing a lot of market stalls. I think was I trying print on demand at that time? I think I might have been trying print on demand. What else was I doing during that time? I was getting so many orders. My YouTube was going well. I feel like I was trying a lot of new stuff, to be honest. I feel like when I think about it, I was like constantly doing new things all the time. I think I've been in like a comfort zone for so long and I didn't even realize I was in a comfort zone because, you know, obviously it's comfortable. You're not really going to think twice about it, right? But I actually think that's the issue. I think I've just not done anything new with my business for so long. And I mean, I am working on a Shopify and opening a Shopify, but it's still just like, I don't know. What other things could I do for my business that are scary? That's scary to me. Like, what other things could benefit my business that I've been holding back on? There is quite a few things actually that I've wanted to do for my business and I just haven't because like, I'm like, oh, well, I don't have enough money for it. But it's like, at the beginning when I first started my business, those weren't excuses for me. Like I never gave myself the excuse if I don't have the money. I'd go out and I'd find the money. Like I'm still paying off a business loan because I needed a new camera for YouTube and I was like, that's non-negotiable. And I needed some like printers for my business and like some sublimation machines. And it was like, again, it was non-negotiable for my business. And I just did it. Honestly, it may sound a bit stupid, and yes, I am talking about having a full-time job a lot, but I really do think that is why I haven't pushed myself out of my comfort zone, because when you're growing a business full-time, your brain is always on, like, your business, you're relying financially on your business. When you've got another source of income, you're more comfortable. Like back then I was like, okay, I need my business to grow. I don't have a job. I need this business to grow. Like I didn't want to get a job back then either. And I was just like, I need my business to grow. So I will literally do anything it takes to get the money to make my business grow, to do anything to make my business better. Whereas now I've got that stability with the financial income. And I think that's contributed a lot to my comfort zone. I really wish I had this epiphany like a year ago. Somewhere along the line, I got comfortable and just stopped pushing myself. During those months where I was growing substantially, I was constantly trying new things. I feel like looking back at that time, I was always doing something new. I was always trying to push myself. Whereas now I was looking back at the past few months and I was like, what have I really done these past few months that is out of my comfort zone? What have I done these past few months that is new, something new for my business? And the answer was nothing really. I haven't really done anything to push me out of my comfort zone. I didn't realize I was stuck in a comfort zone. I really didn't until I looked back and I was like, since I moved into this new office, I feel like I've just not done anything that's scary, you know? I haven't pushed myself or my business, which is why my business isn't really growing. And granted, I have dealt with burnout a lot this year, or this past year anyway for my business. I've dealt with a lot of just negative thoughts around it because I wasn't growing. But then looking back, I'm also like, well, I wasn't growing because I wasn't really doing anything. I feel like I got myself stuck in a bit of a loop of like, I want to grow my business, but I don't have the energy to grow my business right now because I'm burnt out from working full-time and doing all this stuff. But I'm getting increasingly sad and demotivated because my business isn't growing, but I can't find the time to like push my business. But I have realized the mistakes now. So how am I going to fix my business? One thing I did do was I realized that for this next year, for growing my business and pushing my business past the boundaries of just being a little hobby and pushing it into something that could go full-time in the future, I needed a journal. You know what, actually, I don't really have like a dedicated notebook for my business. I have like a book that I just brain dump things in. Like it's been like a mindfulness journal, it's been YouTube video journal, like kind of planning. It's been a bit of everything. It's kind of a mess. I've had this one for a while. It's not pretty. I definitely need to pretty this up, but this hasn't been touched and I'm just like, this could be a really great way to like document things and like make plans and just brain dump. So I'm gonna be doing that. I got it at a marketing conference that I went to for my job. So it's kind of ugly. We're gonna fix that. One of the great parts about owning a stationery business when you love stationery is that when I have stock that I can't sell, like just like for example the sticker sheet has a hole in because it got cut out too much, I'm like, this is mine and I can use it and I have free stickers. It's not technically free, but like it's also kind of free because I didn't pay for it technically, but I also kind of did pay for it because I needed the materials. You get what I mean. Anyway, I'm gonna pretty this up. Let's, okay, first of all, I feel like I definitely need this one, my small business sticker. This needs to be a part of it. Can't have a small business planner without a small business sticker on it. It's gonna be unrecognizable at the end. I feel like we need one of these bad boys. Everyone grows differently. I definitely need a reminder of that. I didn't really plan this, I'm just sticking them however I feel. I feel like I definitely need one of these as well on it. Everybody deserves to rest, one of my newest stickers. Definitely need that on there because I need to remind myself that it's okay to rest. And then I think we need just a couple of like plain ones. Like, oh, let's put a few sassy cats on there. One of my original OG designs that I made when I first started my business, and they've always done very well. So like, I feel like the sassy cats need to be on this. I feel like they need to be on there somewhere. They're a very big part of my business. I love the sassy cats. Have you ever seen a more Abby Nova coded notebook? Probably not. This is my notebook. This is gonna be my little fix my business journal. We're gonna be writing everything in here, all my plans, my ideas, and for this next year, this journal is gonna be our best friend in fixing my business and hopefully getting it to a point where I can finally go full time with it. I Abby Novified a black notebook that I've had, wipe the slate, start clean with a new journal, and that journal is gonna be specifically for my business. So first things first, what am I gonna do to grow my small business? As you guys have heard me say multiple times now, getting out of my comfort zone, but what's that gonna look like? I did hear you guys in the last video. A lot of you guys were saying that I've relied too much on Etsy. I need to grow my own website, and let me tell you, I wholeheartedly agree with that. I am still working to open my Shopify. I am currently working on it. Don't you guys worry. I do understand that's a reason of why I haven't been growing. I have been relying on Etsy too much. I was actually, fun fact, gonna start a Shopify a couple years ago. I got told by a couple of people in a video that I shouldn't because I'm too small, and you know, it just probably wouldn't be worth it for me right now, and maybe they were right at the time, but I feel like I let those words a couple of years ago affect me even to this day. I was just like, am I ready to start a Shopify? Am I even big enough to start a Shopify? But at the end of the day, it's one of those things. It pushes me out of my comfort zone. It's one of those things, it's scary. I don't know if it's gonna work out. It might not. It might not bring me any revenue. It might bring me loads of revenue. I have no idea. But again, because I've been stuck in that comfort zone for so long, I never actually opened one. So opening a Shopify is gonna be a very big one. I am planning to open my Shopify very soon. I don't want to go through this year without having that there. I feel like it's gonna be a very substantial way for me to grow, for me to learn, for me to really push my business. Another thing that I realized when reflecting on why my business may not have been growing was that I think I've been relying on myself too much. And hear me out, because that might sound a bit strange without context. I am not perfect, and I definitely can't do everything to grow my small business on my own. For example, Instagram. I do not have a single clue what goes into growing an Instagram account. I really don't. I like Instagram. I do. I keep up with my fellow small businesses and artists on there. However, do I know how to run an Instagram business account? Not in the slightest. I still could use more help in things like sales, or even things like how to make my videos more interesting. So another thing I'm going to do to grow my small business is I'm going to try to educate myself a bit more. When I was starting out with my business, I would constantly watch videos on like how to grow a business, how to do SEO, how to do that, like every little thing that went into growing a business, how even business plans, cash flow, all that stuff. I would watch videos, I'd take notes, and along the way, I just stopped doing that. Because I got more confident with that stuff, I guess I just decided I don't need to learn anything else about it. But I'm also aware it's really hard to do all that stuff and to make time to watch these videos and take notes when I'm already, you know, so busy with my full-time business. So I need to be a little smart about it. I'm not gonna go into too much detail on this one as much as I wish I could, but I will be making videos in the future about all of this kind of stuff. So you guys are still gonna be kept in the loop, but I do want this to be a surprise of what I'm planning with this one. In fact, it's okay to not be good at everything that goes into running a small business. I need help. I need experts to tell me what to do. And that is okay. I'm going to make time and I'm going to save the money to be able to allow myself to do that stuff, because before I wasn't previously, and that's on me. Work on Instagram. This is something that I just briefly touched on before, but a couple of you guys came forward and said that it would be helpful to start focusing on my Instagram and TikTok, and I absolutely agree. Short form content and I have never really gelled well together, let's just say. I don't really understand what goes into making short form content. I don't really understand the strategies behind them like I do with YouTube videos and longer form content, and that's okay. And that's why I'm gonna try and research this stuff. I'm gonna try and expand my knowledge. So Instagram and TikTok, I will be posting more on them. In fact, I've got a video going up today, a reel / TikTok, so that will be the beginning. I'm gonna try and post every other day, but I do work full time, so that might be a bit hard, but I'm going to try. I'm really going to try to kick it up with my short form content and just posting more on Instagram and TikTok, even if it's just a simple carousel, so you guys can expect to see me more on those platforms. I know quite a few of you follow me on Instagram and I appreciate the support, even when I've been quite quiet on that platform. But no more, I am officially going to start posting more on Instagram and taking it more seriously. YouTube videos. My YouTube videos are also gonna change slightly. I kind of feel like for the longest time, I haven't really had a goal with my YouTube videos. I feel like I just kind of bring you guys into my office and we just kind of sit down and draw or pack a couple orders, and I feel like that's not what I want my YouTube to be about. I want it to be a journey. I want to show you guys what it's actually like to grow a business. Even though I try to be as realistic as possible, I realized in the last video when I was showing you guys clips of me actually just talking you guys through when I felt sad, when I felt down, actually showing you guys those moments, I felt like it felt better. It felt more natural, actually. Even though it's a bit strange to hold a camera to your face when you're upset, it still like felt more natural. I think it's just natural, I guess, especially with being online, to not want to always share those vulnerable parts of yourself, but I kind of do want to share that. I kind of do want to, you know, share with you guys the highlights and the lows, and really capture not just what's going on inside this office, but just really capture what's going on in my life, how I'm feeling day to day of growing a small business, and like take you guys along with me for the actual journey and not just me sitting in front of a camera talking about the journey. I hope that makes sense. I'm still kind of planning on how that's gonna look going forward, but there will definitely be some changes. You guys will definitely see, hopefully, a bit of a, what's the word? Upgrade in the YouTube videos. That's what I made this YouTube channel for. It's because I wanted to show the journey of growing a business, of what it's like chasing your dream. I really wanted to kind of be the person that people can come to when they want someone to feel like they're chasing a dream beside, when they want someone to feel like that's on their level and not necessarily someone who's like, I guess, above it all. And like, because when I first started my business, I couldn't find anyone that I felt I could go on the journey with. I couldn't find a small business channel or an art channel that I felt like I could grow alongside, and that's kind of what I wanted my channel to be, but I feel like lately I've been lacking in that. But regardless, this video, again, I know it's not probably been the most exciting ever, but I feel like I just needed to follow on from the last video and kind of talk with you guys about what I'm doing to fix it. I don't want to just seem like I'm sitting there crying and be like, oh, it's failing and it sucks. I'm actually taking steps to make things better. I also want to say, I think it's incredibly important, not just for me, but for any of you guys going through the same thing, that at the end of the day, I am just one person and you are just one person as well. Whatever kind of dream you're chasing, it doesn't matter. Like, it's hard to do everything when it's just you. Very rarely do people get the privilege of chasing a dream alongside someone else, of having someone else to support you, to lean on, to handle the tasks that you don't want to do, or to handle tasks when you're busy. When you're growing a business or just chasing any kind of dream, it usually falls all on you, and it's really easy to be harsh on yourself and say, man, if I just done this a year ago, I could have been so much more further forward, or like, why am I not growing as fast as these other people? And the truth is that you can't be good at everything, and growing a business requires so many different skills, and it has so many different areas of growing a business. It's hard to keep up with, it really is. Unless you're skilled in like art, sales, marketing, budgeting, finances, but then you're also really good at like time management and scheduling and all this other stuff. Like, unless you're good at every single one of the editing, photo editing, photography, videography, unless you're good at all this stuff, it's never gonna be easy to grow a business. While I have had down moments, there's been a lot of good moments as well. I don't think growing a business has been super aesthetic and romantic and everything's been perfect all the time, but I also don't think it's been miserable and bad. It's like, it's a balance, right? Like, I have good days and I have bad days. The reason I keep going with it is because I love what I do. Even on the bad days, I still enjoy creating products. I still enjoy making videos. Yes, I might be tired. It is hard to run a business or grow a business and also work full time and also manage a social life and seeing family and trying to take care of yourself mentally and physically. Like, we are living in such a fast-paced world. It's hard to do all of that stuff. But there's still always room to grow. I had a couple people say that my last video was really pessimistic, but I didn't mean for it to come across that way. I want to be realistic. I'm not going to be optimistic all the time, and I'm not going to be pessimistic all the time. The clips that I showed you guys were mostly just my sadder moments and how I have been feeling this past year. This past year hasn't been great for me. But do I think that it's never going to get better? Of course not. There is always room to grow. There's always room to pick yourself back up again. I just feel like I've been stuck for a long time. I've just been unsure of like what to do. I think now I'm a little bit more ready. I think now I can tackle this next year, and like I said, I've got my plan. I hope this video wasn't too boring for you guys. I really hope that this cleared up some stuff. I hope it helped you guys to understand what I'm going to be doing this next year and how I am currently feeling. I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like I've got a goal to work towards again, and I haven't had that for a long time, and again, that's my fault, but it is what it is. If you guys have any questions or comments about how I'm going to be changing this next year and how I'm going to be fixing my business, or if you guys simply just want to share what your next year is going to look like, what you're doing to grow your business, I'd love to hear that from you guys as well. We are on this journey together. If you guys like this video, again, I do recommend this video right here. It's probably gonna give you more context if you haven't already watched it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to follow me along on my journey, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!